This video contains discussions or depictions of genocide, racism, anti-Semitism, terrorism, hate speech, injuries, and death. Viewer discretion is advised. It's me. I'm back again so soon. No set, no ridiculous CGI, no intro, no little visual gags. Here's the deal. I really had to fight the urge to just make this video like a full primer on propaganda itself, which is what I would normally do. But I had to make this now because it's time sensitive and there's a call to action at the end of it. I don't want to lose anyone's attention, so I'm going to stay as concise as possible in this video. There won't be any silly visual gags. To be clear, this is about the actions of Israel, not about Jewish people. Any anti-Semitism in my comments, permanent ban. There's only two things you need to know as a primer for this video: what propaganda is and what's happening in Palestine right now. And contrary to popular belief, they're both pretty simple. Propaganda is really just any information being used to further a political goal, but usually the information is presented in a way that's intentionally misleading, biased, or it just leaves out vital information. There's a bunch of really tricky tactics that professional propagandists employ, and while I'm not going to get into all of them here, I'll just point them out as I see them throughout the course of the video. So here's what's happening. Over the last few decades, Israel has been encroaching further and further into Palestine, stealing land and killing Palestinians and stripping them of their really basic human rights. Israel restricts Palestinians in every way imaginable. Most Palestinians can't leave or enter the country, their town, or even their areas because of intense military checkpoints. Tight restrictions have been placed on their access to move freely, to medical care, to water, to choose their own work, vote, or even defend themselves, which should be one of the most basic human rights. Just in the last couple weeks alone, Palestinians are currently being forced out of their homes.
You are stealing my house.
And if I don't steal it, someone else is going to steal it.
No one is allowed to steal it, ya ammi.
Israeli soldiers stormed into Al-Aqsa Mosque and attacked thousands of innocent Palestinian worshippers during prayer. Like I mentioned, Israeli troops have been attacking Gaza, killing Palestinians. And Israel even bombed a tower housing news organizations. So that's your primer. There's a lot more that happened, of course, but that's what you need to know to be able to follow along here. With everything that's already happened and everything that's still happening right now, it feels maddening that more people aren't standing in support of Palestine. And maybe even more so that that support for Israel is often framed as a progressive stance, and any opposition to Israel is seen as anti-Semitism. But why is that? Because the Israeli Defense Force, the IDF, is very good at maintaining that illusion of victimhood. And they work really hard at it. They are professional propagandists. And as of right now, the IDF are in the middle of a massive propaganda, disinformation, and harassment campaign, and it's being coordinated through the media, social media, and smartphone apps. So obviously, I downloaded the app and installed it because I like to see things firsthand for myself. I think a lot of people do, and screenshots don't really do it for me, so I'll just show you everything that I see in the app through a screen recording. So I grabbed an old burner phone with a cracked screen. It's one I used for my anti-vax video when I was undercover in the Facebook groups. I joined the app under one of my pseudonyms, Lasagna Ravioli. You may remember my time with the anti-vaxxers as Carol Marinara. It's my headcanon that Mrs. Ravioli is their Nona. The app is called Act.il, and its whole purpose is to direct people so that they can flag, report, and reply to criticism of Israel online. So the app functions as a means of astroturfing, organized and deceptive government-backed public relations activity that gives the false impression to anyone seeing it that this is a spontaneous grassroots campaign. It's effective because they tell people how to respond, what to respond with, as well as a bunch of pre-made memes and talking points. Although, in true fashion, they made it into a little game. Let me just show you what I'm seeing. This is so awkward. It looks so weird looking down at it. Oh, this is fine. It looks studious. Okay, recording. So we're gonna go into act.il. Hello, lasagna. Hey girl, hey. So let's check out what you see when you first get into the app. So getting started. They have a video that you can watch and fantastic message, very motivation, very excited for this. Everybody is super excited. She looks super excited to be telling you how to shut down Palestinian voices. Let's watch her little video. Let's see what she has to say.
Hi everyone, I'm Maya, and I'm here
nice
to
to meet you,
welcome you
Maya.
to act.il, the first pro-Israeli grassroots online movement.
It's not grassroots if it's the government telling you to do it. That's not a grassroots movement. Maya, you know this.
There are many groups that try to delegitimize Israel online. And now, you will have the tools to counter their efforts right in the palm of your hand. We're going to show you how, by using the act.il app, anyone can become an activist for Israel, anywhere, at any time. Welcome to the act.il app. Now, time for action.
Those really poorly done CGI fireworks were about as much of a threat as Palestine poses to Israel.
When you open the app, you will be directed straight to the home page where you will have two ways of reviewing the mission. You can either scroll through all of them on the mission tab or choose your missions according to different platforms. When clicking on a mission, a description about the specific mission will show up, where you can learn more about the action needed. The How-To button is there to give you a step-by-step video explanation of how to perform the task on social media. By clicking on the Go-To button, you will be redirected to the platform where you will perform the required mission. Let me just give you an example of the power of these missions. This post was not offensive enough for Facebook when a single volunteer reported it. So he reached us through the Suggest a Mission tab, and we made it into a mission. After only 48 hours and over 2,000 reports, Facebook took it down. This is the power of the masses.
This is the power of mass harassment.
It shows how all of us together can make a change. If you see a mission and think, hey, wow, I didn't know that, I want to learn more, you can just click on our new feature, Fact.il Library, where you can find additional information about Israel for you to be better informed. How cool! Another feature we have is communities. You can join communities according to location, organization, or personal skills. And best of all, you don't have to pick and choose. You can be a part of as many communities as you want. Just so you know, each mission completed will unlock even more missions, and they will grant you points that you can utilize to get cool prizes. Just go to our leaderboards tab. To get cool prizes. Just go to our leaderboards tab. Okay, so here we go. Try it yourself. You're officially an online activist. Welcome to act.il.
So basically you go through and they have a bunch of different social media platforms with active missions. And a mission is to like report something. So like on Twitter, it'll be like report a tweet for comparing incomparable situations, which is not something you can report a tweet for. Comment on Twitter, police only intervene if there's violence. Some of the reporting missions on here are legitimate. Like some of them are actually intense anti-Semitism, a lot of like right-wing anti-Jewish conspiracy theories, but a lot of it is just perpetuating a Zionist agenda. I will always report an anti-Semitic post on social media. There's nothing wrong with directing people to do the same. But let's take a look at some of the posts that they're claiming is anti-Semitism. Like, here we go. We need to report a bag because it calls for the dissolution of Israel. The bag says, make Israel Palestine again, and it wants me to go report it on Redbubble. And it gives you pretty detailed descriptions on how to sign up, where exactly you need to go to click report, what to report it for, and then what to type in it as well. And then you can see all the participants. So when you do one of these, you go over and you get points. So you get to go be on their leaderboard and unlock badges. So I have really bad eyesight. There's me, lasagna ravioli, and these are my badges. I have none. I'm a terrible Zionist, as it turns out. Oh, it says I completed one. Oh, I joined the WhatsApp group. I got points for that. This is Jeff Perry. He has all sorts of flags. So this guy is just going through, look at all this stuff that this guy is doing. Like, how many tweets were taken down because of these people. Like, it's so clearly fun for them. Like, they made a game of it. Like, how would you not feel sick playing this game? Like, how detached do you have to be from the reality of the situation to make a game out of this? Appmaster, Superscribe, the Stalwart Socialite Bronze Badge. Like, if Gossip Girl were in the IDF, one of the only missions I actually completed was going into the WhatsApp group. They're also very tight-lipped. Only the admins can send messages, and when you respond to the admins, they don't really say anything to you. Like, I messaged one of the admins, and I'm like, where are all the links? Because all they had sent me was a Eurovision voting link. Let's be real, that's not exactly the hard-hitting facts that I was looking for. So I messaged one of the group moderators, and I said, nobody is sending links in our Israel Action Group. Why not send links? And he said, it's coming and will continue coming, though at a slower rate. And I said, thanks, why slower? No response. None of these people really wanted to respond to me. Basically, they try not really say anything, probably because they're so wary of screenshots getting out. So it's mostly just links and then nobody else can talk. It's probably the safest way to run a WhatsApp group like this and have it stay open and not get shut down. But the one that I'm in is group 7. So I'm guessing they shut them down pretty regularly when they feel like they've been infiltrated. Quite a few people have joined and left since I joined. So these groups are active. I messaged a bunch of people from the group and was like, why aren't they sending messages in our group? And all of them that read it left me on red, which is like rude, but maybe they've dealt with people coming in like this before and they're very paranoid about people named Lasagna Ravioli asking them questions. I may not be the first lasagna that's come their way. So once I got in there, they send activism alerts. So what you're supposed to do, it's the same thing as like the app, but it's more immediate. So what I did was go in to the Twitter ones. There's me. Hey, just a heads up. Your post is being targeted by the Israel Action Group. I actually did get a response to some of those tweets, and they found one of the old tweets of mine and said, turkeys, check on my actual phone, turkeys and Xmas spring to mind. Shame on you for siding with homophobic jihadists. You're a disgrace to the LGBT community. And then there's a chickens for KFC sign. Well, guess what? I'm a disgrace to everything and everyone. You can't shame me. I am shameless. They always pull that with me like they think it's gonna work on me. Like, solidarity, not a market transaction. My solidarity with children being bombed in their apartment building is not dependent on whether or not that child might be homophobic. I don't care. If Israel thinks homophobes deserve death, why don't they have same-sex marriage legalized there? They're pretty quick in their harassment, actually. It's really scary how organized and streamlined this is. Like, this feels like a training video for a job. You know, like they put a lot of money into and time and research into making this as easy as possible to funnel mass reports and harassment and misinformation. Like, if you go into the app, they even have memes.
How cool!
So, like, say go to Gaza, civilian casualty, and then images. Here's an example. Hamas uses mosques as terrorist facilities. For Hamas, nothing is sacred. They make it so easy to spread this misinformation. Like, just by saying, for Hamas, nothing is sacred, they're excusing destroying mosques. They have an answer for everything, and it's in here, and it empowers every single person to go in and spread it around with almost no knowledge of their own. 4chan would be so proud. Like weapons locations, schools, hospitals, houses, mosques. Hamas uses residential areas as terror sites. But there's no proof, there's no source, there's no anything. It's just infographics, which would work very well on Facebook. But I've seen these exact images under tweets that they said to report. Like, it's so clear that it's astroturfing once you know it, which is why I wanted to make this video, because it's a lot easier to get sucked into the both sides argument when one side is censored and all of their tweets get taken down and reported. And then all these other tweets that are just like, we just want love and peace and we don't want to hurt anybody, but they hide all of their rockets inside baby carriages. Like, this just feels obviously disingenuous. So this app, Act.il, is linked to one of Israel's propaganda arms, the Ministry of Strategic Affairs, which literally pays news organizations to publish articles linking Palestinian liberation to anti-Semitism. All of my sources are going to be in a link in the description below, so you can check these out for yourself. It takes a really coordinated effort of astroturfing and government meddling to silence activists on social media, and up until this point, it's been working pretty well for them. The Israeli cyber unit monitors Palestinian content and then asks these social media companies like Facebook, Instagram, which is owned by Facebook, and Twitter to take this stuff down, TikTok too. In the last few weeks, the Israeli government met with senior TikTok and Facebook executives, and according to a report, Facebook accepted 81% of requests made by the cyber unit to remove content. And depending on what it is, that could be tantamount to the destruction of evidence in war crimes documentation. An example would be what happened with Mona El-Kurd and her brother. They had their Instagram accounts censored for filming and reporting on the constant abuse and eviction attempts and filming police violence. Twitter suspended Miriam Barghouti's account while she was reporting from a Sheikh Jarrah solidarity demonstration in the occupied West Bank. Twitter said it was an accident, but then wouldn't say why or how it occurred. Simply that it was like a technical issue. I wish I could tell how many of these takedowns were initiated by the Act.il mass reporting and harassment system, but it doesn't keep a backlog, so it's hard to link them up to anything. But they don't just use these platforms to silence and harass, they also use them to spread what they view as positive propaganda, something that will show a kinder, more relatable Israel. That's right, we got emojis, we got cat girls, we got, what else do kids like? Completely unreasonable and unhinged reactions to minor slights. Speaking of, let's start with Twitter, because that's where I personally hang out, because I hate myself. So their Twitter presence, I would like to say, is one of the wildest trips I have been on outside of the Act.il app itself. It's just blatantly evil and outright ridiculous at points. Like, this is just the literal country of Israel spamming the fucking rocket emoji over and over and over again. Like, this isn't the most decidedly tone-deaf thing. They're so sure of their ability to maintain their continued international support that they just they're just so cocky. They just go for it. This is a good example of what I mean. The other day they posted this video that at first is confusingly high production value, but let's just watch it. Yep. My neighbors are hosing down a marching band right now, and I swear to God, I'm going to scream. I waited till 2 a.m. Okay, well, I don't think they're ever going to stop, so let's just watch it. You can tell that they just tacked on all these symbols, words, and signs. I like how he just goes right through the flag of Israel, like it's not even there. It's like Israel doesn't even exist. So he destroys a church, so that's fun. And then they do pretty much nothing at all to him whatsoever. He's just like barely even phased, like somebody's throwing dust at him. And so his reaction to being not even mildly inconvenienced is to destroy all of Europe. So it seems like Israel was trying to paint themselves as a hero in this scenario, but like a really, really petty one. Because like they smash a church and then basically get tickled in response. Like the response of the castle that's Europe has zero effect on Israel at all. And their completely like 0 to 100 response is just to annihilate Europe itself. What are we supposed to be getting from that? I know what they were trying to do, but the metaphor is so sloppy. I think some people would actually take it more seriously because it's such a well-produced video. But obviously in true colonizer fashion, this video was actually appropriated, changed, and presented without credit as original. And the actual original short film has a couple more seconds that add a bit more context to the video, like that Israel started the whole thing. Their international TikTok presence is legit just some thirst trap accounts. They're really trying to make Gen Z think the IDF soldiers are just like them, sexy, cisgendered, badass cat girls with guns. I feel like there's sort of a very distinct appeal to the left there. There's one account that's been getting a bunch of views, and it's literally just this one girl doing stupid shit in front of the same wall, but then with like blatant propaganda superimposed on it. Let's look at some of these. I don't think I need sound on them. When the whole world is obsessed with your country, like, I guess this is very sexy. Like, I feel like when they tried to destroy your nation, but you ended up having one of the most powerful armies, like, I feel like all of these were just recorded on the same day, and she just posted them. Like, she just, like, spread them out. On my way to disappear because someone said Israel is not a real country. Like, she's trying to be so fucking relatable. Like, the girl boss attitude that they're really trying to convey here, it's so gross. Like, look at this cat ear nonsense. This one is like the most blatant. I proudly served as a military police officer for 3 years in the IDF. Now tell me, do I look like I could harm innocent civilians? I'm pretty sure having flat ironed hair and being caked up doesn't mean you can't kill innocent people. I mean, does she look like she would kill innocent people? No, but that's because the propaganda coming out of Israel has trained us to see Palestinians as violent terrorists and the IDF as brave heroes. And everyone knows that it's okay for the heroes to kill terrorists. Those aren't innocent people. And they always have this like thought terminating cliche of a canned response to like for everything. For instance, on Twitter, someone will point out that Israel is killing innocent children. And because Israel can't just be like, those babies were terrorists. They just happen to keep all their rockets inside schools and mosques and hospitals so Israel won't bomb them. Which could be a tactic, but you'd only try it once because Israel bombs them anyway. Like, that's not a shield. Like, from a military standpoint, why would Palestinians even risk losing a hospital by employing a tactic that you figure out doesn't work after the first time? In order for Israel's defense of why they're like bombing hospitals and schools to even make sense, the Palestinians have to be simultaneously completely inept at defending themselves and understanding and reading situations and what's a good tactic and what's not, and also simultaneously be like a serious threat to Israel. You know what? I bet I could find a canned response from Israel on this app for this exact situation. Let's go back to the app for a sec. I guess it would be terrorism and then probably rioters, talking points, main talking points. Human shields. So let's look at their human shield talking point. Every death is a tragedy, but Hamas knows that the IDF wants to avoid the injuring or death of civilians as much as possible. So again, they're painting the IDF as the heroes who don't want to hurt anybody, and Hamas as a terrorist organization that is using civilians as human shields. But again, it doesn't make sense. Human shields for what? It either works or it doesn't. So using this as an excuse for why they're killing civilians, it doesn't work, because you either have a problem with killing civilians and therefore the human shield works, or you don't and it doesn't. It's pretty simple. Yesterday, I went on Snapchat, and you can browse stories based on location. So I went and looked at some stories in like Tel Aviv and Jerusalem, and then I looked at stories in Gaza. I pre-recorded this, so take a look at this. The difference is like striking. Israel is claiming that they're constantly under attack, but they have the Iron Dome. So even if they are under attack, they're not facing any real threat, which is completely different to what's happening to Palestine. So it's obviously not even in any way. There's one side that's clearly super powerful and one side that has almost no power. Like, I feel like it's perfectly encapsulated by that one scene that they really expected to make them seem strong, but it makes them seem strong in the wrong way, as in like strength without any moral compass. Like, look at this. Does that look like somebody who's defending themselves? They literally think that this is defending themselves. If you take a look at the videos that are coming out of Palestine and the videos that are coming out of Israel, the difference is so striking. But I think it's important to see the two sides that everybody is talking about. The two equal participants in this conflict.
I'm always sick. I don't know. I can't do anything. All of this. What do you expect me to do? Fix it? I'm only 10. I can't even do anything anymore. I just want to be a doctor or anything to help my people, but I can't. I'm just a kid. I don't even know what to do. I get scared, but not really that much. I do anything for my people, but I don't know what to do. I'm just 10. I'm just 10. All of this, when I see it, I literally cry every day, saying to myself, why do we deserve this?
أنا لما من غزة أنا هيني لابسة أواعي العيد، لكن إحنا ما عيدنا بسبب الحرب. أنا بحكي معاكم من برج الجلاء اللي قصف الاحتلال الصهيوني. صرنا باليوم العاشر للحرب وليلة ليلة ما بننام، وإذا غفيت عيوننا نصحى على صوت القصف والدمار. بنخاف أولها لكن نفوسنا قوية لما بنشوف صواريخ المقاومة بترد الغارة بغارة. فكرونا بالموت والدمار بدنا نستسلم، مش رح يكون ولا يصير، ورح نضل صامدين على أرضنا في غزة العزة وندافع عن القدس والشيخ جراح والمسجد الأقصى مصر نبينا محمد. مش رح نركع ولا يرهبنا صوت المدفع. رح نموت شهداء فدا القدس والأقصى، وإذا عشنا بنعيش بعزة وكرامة. رغم الخوف والقصف والدمار صار عنا أمل نرجع لأرضنا، نرجع لفلسطين، نرجع لأرض الأجداد، نرجع للأرض اللي حبيناها بدون ما نشوفها، لأنه روح أجدادنا وأجداد أجدادنا فيها. نرجع للمجدل وحيفا ويافا وصفد وبيسان ولكل فلسطين، ونصلي بالأقصى. قالوا اليهود المحتلين لما احتلوا أرضنا الكبار بيموتوا الصغار بينسوا. اليوم بنقولهم الكبار ماتوا صحيح، لكن علمونا وربونا ما ننسى أرضنا. هاي الصغار كبروا وإحنا اللي حنرجع أرضنا فلسطين.
Of Israeli teens stepping up their activism on social media to battle misinformation, to battle myths that are out there that you're seeing. This is now day 11 of the operation. What's the biggest criticism you're hearing, and what's your response to that?
Well, there are a lot of misses. One of them is that a lot of people told me that we hate Palestinians and that all we want to do is to murder them, which is wrong. And also a lot of them told me that that the Palestinians in Israel don't have any rights like us, but they do have the rights, the same rights that we have. Also, a lot of them told me that when we bomb in Gaza, it's because we want to murder the innocent civilians who live there, which is not true at all. Our purpose is to fight against the Hamas and to destroy them and not to kill the innocent civilians. And when we bomb in Gaza, we bomb the Hamas places. But unfortunately, a lot of the Hamas places are in houses, in the civilians' houses, kindergartens, schools. So we have to bomb their kindergartens, schools. So we have to bomb their kindergartens, schools. So we have to bomb their.
I think most of us like to think of ourselves as good people. We often like to believe that if something truly atrocious were happening, and that if we had the power to affect it, we would. We tell ourselves that we can't, though, after all those horrors are in the past, or they're a world away. But with technology, that isn't really an excuse anymore. The world has changed, and now, from your couch, you can literally help expose and attempt to cover up ongoing war crimes. Because as long as this app is running, Palestinian voices are going to be silenced. Apparently, mass reporting things works. Report the app if you can, rate it a 0 or a 1, join the app, and do what I did, let people know that they're being targeted. If we can render the app ineffective at successfully and quietly removing posts like this, we can disable one of their most powerful tools. Because as much as I hate to say it, Maya was right about one thing. In the age of social media, you have the tools to make a real, tangible difference right in the palm of your hand. Will you? If you're not new to my channel, obviously this video is very different than my other ones. I'm obviously going to continue making video essays still. I've just realized I have a much wider reach here than I do on Twitter, and this is something that needs to be talked about now, because the more voices that are silenced, the harder it gets to convince people of what's actually going on. Like I said earlier, I spend most of my time on Twitter. You can follow me there if you want more updates. You know, I do read the comments, so if you have something you want to add or you know something that's going on, feel free to let me know as well. My patrons on Patreon keep my videos free from ad breaks, so you can thank them, join them, like, comment, subscribe, all the algorithm things that I don't understand how it works, other than that I know that YouTube's algorithm hates me. And this video is probably going to be demonetized and possibly taken down, so feel free to download it, share it, do whatever with it. I just want people to know what the truth is when they see all these comments underneath a person posting about the horrors of what's happening in Palestine, and they see all these very persuasive, well-phrased, and seemingly well-educated arguments underneath, and I want them to know where it's coming from. So, thanks for watching, and bye. This is awkward. Normally I have music and there's like a fade out or something dramatic happens, but